Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mike Wilson with Andesite Blue. I'm here with you, brought to you by Taloka Studios, bringing you another episode of Business and Opportunities in Ukraine. So this evening, I'm back from missing out last week. I apologize for not showing up or being able to attend. The weather had quite its own thing going on, and it made it impossible for me to get here. I just started walking after my leg being broken over 2 months ago, and the conditions were so treacherous. I mean, literally just slippery. Even people who walk normally were falling all over the place. So I had to opt out to be able to come to the studio because the sidewalks and the roads weren't clear for me to be able to make it. So I apologize for missing out last week. I was really looking forward to our topic, so I extended it to today, and we're going to be talking about community. So, what is community, and what does it mean? The idea, and how does it pertain to business? So, the idea of community is really what we call a phrase that we use in America. There's safety in numbers. I'm pretty sure it's used, universally around the world. But what happens is when you surround yourself with a group of people that are talented, that are ambitious, that are inspiring and motivated, you really create yourself an army of people that can help you to succeed in your ideas and your business and your concepts. And when you're getting started, those are very, very important to get going and to help you to really get launched. Having that support network of people behind you and beside you and in front of you and behind the scenes and working with you and running ideas and also bringing experience and knowledge that you don't necessarily have in certain aspects of your idea and your business. This works as well and also in older companies. Companies have been around for 20 years, 10 years, and so that there's changes that also need to take place with the environment, with the culture of your surroundings. We've gone through so much change over the past decade. We've gone through so much change over the past 2 decades. It's been absolutely incredible. When 2008 happened, what we call the market crash happened on that, it really changed the scene of how you invest, what you invest in, what are secure, a lot of volatility. Then, of course, we had the cryptocurrencies come into play in the early parts of 2000, and I don't remember when Bitcoin really got started. But and I'm not a crypto man. I don't have any money tied up into that currency. But it is a valid, investment choice. It is risky. There's people who understand how to use that and to use that to their advantage of just like playing the stock market. Being able to buy and sell and to get your gains and earn an income. But along with that, that came into play. But that's a volatile field. It's a volatile environment. What used to be safe in real estate has become extremely volatile. Now, I've said this many times over this past 2 years on the show. Now, real estate is a good investment. It does give you moderate growth. Right now, a lot of the real estate opportunities are below market value, so you're going to get a good deal on some properties, depending on where you're investing. If you're, even places in the United States, the UK, EU, Ukraine. Of course, we're talking about Ukraine, and Ukraine right now has a suppressed market, so that is a good time to go ahead and buy properties, whether it's land for land lease and leasing it out for farmers and for crops and different opportunities there. Also for development, for community developments, there's a lot of companies coming in that are going to be working on building up the communities, rebuilding housing, and getting that going. And they're going to be doing it like a master plan communities, the very things that became very big in the 1980s in the United States. And master plan communities are still a very positive and good thing for cities and rural areas and places to live. So that's going to be happening here in Ukraine as well. In Kiev, in the west, Ivano-Frankivsk, in those areas, along the Carpathia, and Lviv, Odessa is going to be growing, and then of course we have the rebuilding of Mariupol and all of the cities that have been absolutely destroyed by this war. Bukhmut, Odessa, Luhansk, all of these places, and I can just go on. Those are going to be some major developments going on in there when this war finishes and when it ends. We don't really know when that is. We hope for it every day. We pray for it every day that this war would come to an end. Even that changes. We saw some movement going on that, and then all of a sudden we have a stalemate going on right now. And we have the elections coming up next year. So again, this is all areas of volatility. This is all areas of movement, and all areas that it actually moves the market. When the market gets afraid, everybody starts selling out, and then the market either crashes or it drops down quite a bit. Again, I don't know cryptocurrencies well. I don't know what causes it to rise. I don't know what causes it to fall. I'm really ignorant in that. Now, I do have people on my team that are very familiar with cryptocurrencies, and they're talking about, this is a solid foundation, it's a solid base of exchange for doing business, for receiving payments through crypto, and also making payments through crypto. So I'm open to it, and I don't close the door on that. But I allow those who are smarter than I am to help me. We're going to now come back into community, because all of those things that I mentioned can affect you. It can affect you personally. It can affect your ideas. It can affect your business. It can affect your approach. It can affect your launch. It can affect your current status of business. Like I say, you could be in business for 20 years, and changes are coming, and you're starting to have a drop in your sales, or you're having a drop in your clientele, and it's affecting the income, and you can't run the way you used to run when you had 20 employees, 30 employees, 50 employees, 100 employees, whatever those numbers were. And you're having to cut back, which is sad for you as a business owner, because it's like having children. You don't, I have 6 children. Well, which one of my 6 children can I give up? It's a sarcastic question, really. You don't give up any of your children. But when you're an employer, it's the same thing. When you have loyal people who are working for you and are dependent upon their income and dependent upon the work that you've provided for them, and set that platform up for them to be able to have income for their family, how do you let them go? And you want to be able to sustain that. Of course, growth is always the exciting part, because that way you're looking for new people, you're hiring, and things like that. But to cut back is difficult. And I'm not saying cut back. What I'm saying is adjust. Learn to feel and see the market. But you yourself might miss a lot of things around you and can't see the things coming up. And you have, as an owner, you have to be open to receiving and hearing what the public is saying, and hearing what your employees are saying, and maybe your partners as well, if you have business partners. Listen to what they're saying. Get your heads together. Figure out a way. If the number, we say numbers don't lie. If your charts went up like this, and then you have a nice sustainability and moderate growth over the past 20 years, and all of a sudden you see a rapid decline, yes, you can blame it on COVID. COVID is valid, the way it was handled. The sickness itself didn't cause a problem. It was the way it was handled, the way the governments treated it. And there was this collusion of powers that just totally handled it completely wrong, but everybody got on board. Masks, stay at home, keep your children from school, all of the things that were absolutely negative to social beings, to try to suppress them and bring them under control and make them jump through hoops in order to do anything, have businesses closed. Those were valid things that we didn't have control over, but we saw the effects that it had. So, but you're still in business now, let's say, or you're looking to open a new business. And this is where community becomes vital, to be able to run ideas, to be able to have experience around you. I have a company, of course it's Andesite Blue, and we looked at the years of experience we have in the company. The company's only been around for a couple of years, but we have over 120, I think close to 150 years of experience on the company. And each individual that is a part of Andesite Blue has a vital role to play, because our our chairman, he has 40 years of banking experience. He has I don't even know how many years. I mean, even right now he's in securities and banking, securities and fraud department, stuff like that, and he works with the government into helping with the regulations and things. And so he's got a tremendous amount of experience that I can't have. I can't put 40 years of that in there. I don't have 40 years of banking. I don't have 40 years of regulations. I don't have 40 years of how money moves and where that works. So I have to rely on somebody else. And so we have the chairman of the board that is part of our team that helps us on those. And so Ben and I run these ideas by him. We get conference meetings by him. We have another one that's in regulations and buildings and commercial industry and stuff. And so he's part of the team, and we run when we're looking to invest in this and a project and a building or a business. We have enough minds to be able to look at something and look at the details. And we have actually two bankers on board that really help us out. So one is really good with forecasts and numbers, and the other one is really good at regulations and understanding the market. So we put all of that together. Well, that's a family. That's a team. That's the community for Andesite Blue. I mentioned about a company that I'm going to be starting here. It's Keeves Western Saloon. Totally excited about this. This is a dream. This is actually a passion of mine and a dream of mine. It's something that I've been wanting to do. And since I've lived here in Ukraine for nearly 5 years, the moment I step foot on here and realize I can't country two-step or swing or do line dancing and have country soul music, I go, oh wow, that would do really well here. We need to look at this. So for nearly 5 years, I have been planning this out and kind of thinking about it and just kicking it around. And then this year we decided to go forward with it. Well, there's a lot of areas that I don't have experience in. One of them is restaurant. And so I'm not ashamed of that. So I bring on experts, people who have over 30 years of experience in the restaurant and industry and in the entertainment industry, because we're bringing on live bands to be able to perform for the audience, and these live bands will have to be trained in a certain way of the country western style and saloons in America that promote and invite and bring dancing onto the dance floor, and and instructors and to be able to teach the dancing and everything. So I'm not a dance instructor. I'm not good enough to do that. I love to dance, but that's not teaching. That is not my forte. It's not my cup of tea. And so I bring on the professionals. I bring on the experience. I bring on the expertise, the digital marketing. Now I've been in marketing for 40 years. Ever since I got out of the military, and I've been in sales and marketing and starting businesses and marketing them and working with the public and things for nearly 40 years. So I have experience in that, but I don't have it in digital marketing. I don't have it in AI. I don't have it in with the social sites and the social networks platforms. I'm not experienced in that. So I bring a team of people who are, and we work together to succeed on that. So we put their ideas forward, and I'm thankful. I had a meeting yesterday. The gentleman is going to be on our show hopefully next week. If not, it'll be soon. His name is David. He'll be on our show, and I look forward to talking with him because he has experience in the AI. He's taught IT, and so he and now he's actually learning more and taking on some educational processes to grow in this field. And so his ideas are very expansive. And so yesterday when we just sat down, we were talking, he was throwing ideas at me, and I'm going, my goodness, these are things I'd never even thought of, but they were outstanding for growth, for exposing the culture, exposing what we're doing, how to bring on people, make them aware of the saloon. We're in the campaign phase right now where we're doing crowdfunding. How do we get the word out to the people? How do we get them excited about it? Marketing the apparel, the cowboy hats, the cowboy boots, the jeans, the belts with the big, Western buckles, and given that real feel and that vibe, so that on grand opening, people have already ordered and purchased their cowboy outfits and cowgirl outfits, so they're ready for opening day, and they're going to have that excitement and that buzz on opening day for the saloon. So I was thankful for David. I was thankful for all of the ideas that he brought in. I actually have one of my other guys there, John, who's been on our show before, young man who's he's into crypto investment, doing very well on that, but he also has diversified investments through properties in different areas that he's made for himself, wealth that he wants to continue to expand. He's motivated on that. He went through an education process and he's run with it, and he has his disciplines. Well, he was there yesterday and absolutely supporting David's ideas and interjecting with a lot of the ways we can reach the market and reach our clientele. So, I wasn't expecting yesterday's meeting. I was looking forward to sitting down with Dave. I know Dave for a while. I didn't really know what he was doing. We were kind of working together, and for helping Ukraine and for our military and getting involved with that. So I didn't know his background, in business. I didn't know his background and his education and the things that he was strong at. And so yesterday I got a much bigger glimpse of that. And and so my eyes are always on the horizon, as we say. We're always looking out on the horizon because that's where your opportunities lie. And you don't know who you need, you don't know who you're going to run into that's going to be a part of your idea, of your concept, of your business, of your launch of your current business. Like I say, I'm kind of targeting the business that has been around for 20 years. It could be a business that you've had for 2 years, but you've been in the industry for 20 years, and you've had other businesses that have successfully run, and maybe you sold them off, and started up a new one, whatever it is. But it's something that you've been doing systematically for the past 20 years that needs to change with the environment. And community is the way you do that, is surrounding yourself with people who are motivated, who are inspired by you, and also who inspire you. So these are the things, and this is what community means. Now, I come from a big family, 5 brothers, 4 sisters, 6 children, and so large family was normal for me as a child. And I'm the youngest. I'm one of the youngest. I have 1 younger sister, but I have 5 older brothers and I have 3 older sisters and 1 younger sister. So I was the baby, one of the babies, and I was treated like the baby. I mean, in other words, with endearment. There was such an age gap between us that they took care of me, and they helped me through and got me through life, and I remember looking up to my brothers and just loving every one of them, and my sisters who I just adored and were always so sweet. And they always shared their life or wisdom, and they always helped. They were always there. And so I'm used to this communal family type of lifestyle. And so community to me makes sense because, again, it's safety in numbers. We all had our own differences and our own problems and like that. But when my brother was having a struggle in his marriage, I remember him sitting down with Mom, and I was young. I mean, I just overheard them talking, and then later after he left, Mom just said, they were just kind of going through some things, and just came over, and they just wanted to sit down and talk to Mom, and so she was just giving advice, and I think they probably needed a little bit of financial aid to get through a bad month, so she helped him out, and I remember my brother when he happily gave the money back. I mean, I remembered all those processes and everything, but again, we're just, as a family, you help one another. As a culture, you help one another. During this war, we really jumped in to help one another. We really needed that for each other. We needed that support. Things were scary. A year ago, when this started, back in March of 2022, and March, April, and May. March, we had that snow come through again. As it was very cold, we had power outages. Certain cities had power outages that were just completely knocked out. Russia had invaded them; they got pushed out. So, they had to come together for food. They had to come together for warmth. They came together, to help one another, and that's communal. That's community. So if you look at the way we naturally respond, this is how we should be running business too. Yes, you can be an individual if you want. Yes, there's a certain amount of pride in it. Says, yeah, it's my business. Okay, I can say that the Keeb's Western Saloon is mine. I can say that. It's my idea. I put it together. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon of what I've developed and I designed and I thought through. But everything that I wrote down in my plan and everything that I put on paper also came from the ideas of other people, and I acknowledge them, and I acknowledge that, and I'm thankful for the contribution they were able to put into it. And not just thank you and pat you on the back and send you on your way. No, I want them to be a part of the team so they receive the benefits when we launch. They actually have an employment, they actually have income, they actually have, they've created with me a platform that provides employment and provides income, it provides opportunity. And, that's how you gain a lot of loyalty, and it's also how you gain trust. I don't want to be the single guy that runs the store. I don't want to be the one to look to and make me the king of the hill on this project. I want to distribute it out and let us all share in the pie that we've made. I have a friend, a very good friend. She's a chemist. She's a food chemist. She loves experimenting with flavors and putting things together, and she's one of the best in Ukraine. She's actually sought after from many, many companies in the industry to work with her. She's actually recently become independent. She worked for a large company, and she was an employee. On the side, she kind of had a side gig. She was kind of putting this little idea together of her own little business. Well, she took the step. I was very proud of her. I remember when she put her 3 weeks notice in and had to, finish up her duties and finish up the things she had. She had 3 weeks to go through that. And I remember, get closer. Now, she was excited about it, but I don't doubt that there was also a little anxiety, a little fears that kind of crept up in there too. But the thing that really prevented her from really getting afraid and fearful of it and just really enjoy the excitement and the thrill of it is that she also had a community of people that were helping her. And because other companies really sought after her and her talent and her experience, she was able to pick up contracts with these companies instead of working for them as an employee. Now she's the contractor and works out these contracts. They need this done, they need that done, and it's by contract. So she's independent, and now she gets to live as an executive woman, independent life, and make decisions on her own. She's learning how to use time management. When you work for somebody, time management is made for you. But when you work for yourself, you have to make your own time management, and it can get a little out of hand sometimes, and she was kind of sharing about some of that she needs to really get a hold of that, so she doesn't waste time and makes the right decisions for her business. So, that's part of the growing pains. But guess who? She talks to people about that. She says, I need help in this. I know that I'm weak in it. And they said, okay, yeah, this is, you could do this. These are some suggestions to be able to help you out and become more systematic so that you can focus on what's important on your business. So, I was very proud of her. So now she's part of the corporate world as an independent, as an entrepreneur, and a business owner. And I hope the best for her because of her what she does as a food chemist. There's a large demand for it, but what's really cool is that if something's coming up or there's an event coming up or a party or something where she gets a chance to share her recipes or share some of her things that she's prepared, she gets all excited about it and shares it with everybody. But the thing that's made it safe for her is that she has a very good supportive community around her. Not just me, but she has people in her industry that are really behind her and support her. And she doesn't have any employees per se, and so she has a lot of colleagues that she can work with and then help to promote her idea, to promote her company, so she can continue to grow. Eventually, she will have some employees that she will put on full time. Right now, she's not ready for that responsibility, which is fine. That's how some business can start. Some businesses can start with just you, like you in the garage. You know, a lot of Microsoft got started in the garage. You know, two guys got together and started, you know, putting things, you know, computer-wise and computer knowledge and, you know, and then they getting into internet and software programming, stuff like that. It all started in the garage. A lot of things started in, when we say garage, it's just basically a place where you park your cars that's attached to a house. And so that's, so what they do is they move the cars out and they just kind of make room for it, stuff like that, and they make their shop there. That's now their business. Their business is inside their house attached, or inside their garage attached to the house. So a lot, you know, that's a good way to start. There's low overhead when you do that, so it's much less risk, and it gives you the freedom, especially if you're financially tight. Right now, when you're getting started and you want to be able to budget that, but you want to be able to make the largest impact to your project or your idea, to the business that you're starting. That's the way I like to do it myself. I start out with very low capital, low to little or no capital. That's the way I like to start businesses. Some people who are multimillionaires or even billionaires, they have the opportunity to start businesses and be able to capitalize it themselves. Now, like Elon Musk, a lot of these guys don't use their money. They learn to leverage money to be able to get it started. So Donald Trump, he doesn't use his money. He leverages money to be able to get these projects done and bring people in so they can benefit from it. So it's all in the way that you've either been taught, but there's a way to do business where you're not using all of your capital to do it. It's actually a greater risk for you and your family to risk certain amounts of money, let's say 30,000, 50,000, 100,000. Some people have done this like 200,000, and they still haven't launched their company yet. Yet they put all of that money themselves into it, and now they are risking a potential shutdown or bankruptcy because they haven't launched yet. They're not taking on any revenue, and they haven't reached their goals yet. They haven't learned to put a community together. They haven't learned to bring in the right people to help. You know, maybe you don't know how to raise money. There's nothing wrong with that. You're talented in another area, but bring people in who do. You know, pay them a commission. I don't pay salaries up front. When there's no revenue in the company, I'm not paying a salary. Where am I going to get the money from? It's going to come out of my pocket? No, I got my own expenses. I got my own lifestyle. I got my own things that I have to do. So I'm not paying a salary to get you started. So, as an employee, no, I base everything on incentive. Incentive is the best way to really motivate people to do it. And what I mean by incentive is, you have a talent. You say that you can market for me and you can reach 100,000 people. Not 100,000 people are going to buy the product, but you can reach 100,000 people, which is going to influence them. And out of that will be a percentage of people who will start buying your product. Well, you say you have talent for that, and you show me in your resume, or you show me on the internet your experiences and the things that you've done. Okay, let's work out an incentive of commission or some way that you get a percentage of the revenue raised by your efforts. So I need $100,000, and so you say I can help you raise that $100,000. Good, I can. I'll pay you. And you can do this in a certain amount of time, 1 month, 2 months, whatever. I can pay you 10% or 5%, 6%. 10%. Is kind of a normal basis of commission, and so now I'm not paying him $10,000 up front to get that done. Now, I've done this in the past and got nothing for it. Oh yeah, people love to get money up front, but then all of a sudden, where are they when they get the money? Oh, they're selling you. They're saying, we can do this. We can jump, get you through here. We're going to get you through the sky. We're going to market you, and you're going to be bigger than you know how to handle it, and you're going to do this and blah blah blah. And they're just selling themselves. And yeah, look, we've done this for this and everything like that. So for $2,500, we'll get that going for you. $2,500 later, nothing done and no results. That happens way too much. But the best people know they can get $10,000 instead of $2,500 if they use their talent to get it done. And that's so the incentive is greater than some, contractual thing that I pay up front. I realize that lawyers, they like to get their money up front. And, but real estate agents don't. Real estate agents work hard to find the right house for you. They go through the listings. They've heard what you said. I need a 3-bedroom, I need a 2-bath, I've got 2 children, blah, blah, blah. I would like this, whether it's an apartment or a house on a piece of property, and can you find this for me? Well, the agent said, absolutely. And they go through the whole listings, and they're looking and they're looking and they're looking at all the different opportunities. And so they're working for you for nothing. And they said, hey, I've got 3 listings I want to show you. Are you available this Saturday? We can go take a look at them. I said, sure. So then they come and pick you up in their car, and they start driving you around to the different listings. There's no guarantee that you're going to like any of those 3 listings. You can reject it. But they spent the money, they spent the time, and they're not going to stop. That's the way real estate agents work. They know that it's going to keep working. Now, they don't just have one client at a time. They usually have about 10, 15 clients, and they try to get as many as they can in the process. They're looking to list properties, and they're looking to buy properties for their clients. And so they're doing all of the back work for nothing. They're doing it for free. But not really, because when you do decide to purchase it, there's a commission. So you purchase the house, commissions are paid to the agency, and the agency or the broker gets their share that runs the agency that you're working for, or you could be the broker, and if you're the broker, then you get the full 3 or 6%, depending on if you were the buyer and seller of that property or just the seller. But you get that on, say, $300,000 house. At 6% is $18,000. At 3% is $9,000. So, if you're the broker, you just made $9,000. You did a lot of work. A good real estate agent does make a good income. It is a good source of revenue for you. It does provide you a better lifestyle than the average person. But it should be that way because there's a lot of work. Agents work all hours of the day. They don't rest that much. They look at opportunities, and everything they're doing is just constantly, helping to build their business. Well, it's the same thing in advertising. It's the same thing in any type of marketing. You want someone who is willing to work for their salt, as we say. They're willing to put in the effort to get it done because they trust themselves and they trust they can do what they can get done accomplished. Commissions pay higher than salaries all the time. And so someone who understands that, like myself, I'm going to work for commission. That means I'm not making nothing for you. I'm not making nothing for myself until I produce results. And when I produce results, then you get your benefits and I get my commission, which is always greater than any salary. And a guaranteed salary tends to produce laziness. It produces lethargy. It produces, I'll get to it, but there's no need because you just have a guaranteed salary and it's not going to change. And whether you work hard or whether you work little, you get paid the same. There's no incentive for that. And so when I, like on this Country Western Saloon that I'm starting up here in Kiev, everybody who is on my team, everybody in the community, and has all of that talent, understands they're going to get paid when results are produced. Nobody gets paid up front. And they're happy about that because they know that the reward is greater on the other end. Now, they also have other projects, so they're not just relying on my project to get their income. They have other projects that they're doing that they're also generating income through. It's not like a life or death situation. They're going to starve to death and get kicked out of their apartment because they can't pay the rent. That's not, you don't do that either. That's not wise. You source yourself out, like the lady that I was telling you about, that she, when she has not just one source of revenue to work on, she has many projects to work on, and then as each one of them gets fulfilled, that's where her income comes in. So she has income coming from different directions. That's how you stabilize yourself, and that's how you can make your personal lifestyle. I like it that way. I was a single father of 5 boys. I had 5 boys living with me as a full-time dad. And because I worked that way in my business, I had a company. 3 of my older sons worked for me during that time, and I ran the company, and I created the lifestyle for my children and for myself, and I was happy about that. If I was just working at a car lot, selling Mercedes-Benz or Porsches, which I have done, by the way, now that's a commission basis though when you're selling those cars. So again, I'm controlling my lifestyle. But let's say I was a mechanic, or let's say that I was a service writer and I was just on salary. I would have to create my lifestyle according to my salary. So that's comfortable. A lot of people like that. I mean, it's a good way to go, and we need people to work, and there's people who want that guarantee point. I know this is what I'm making every month, and this is what this is how I can live. That is fine. That is perfectly fine. There's no condemnation to that at all. That we have to have people who enjoy that security and having that income. But that's not I can't do that. I have punched a clock before, and it just doesn't work for me. And so that's why since I got out of the military, I've been in business for myself. I've been, independent. I've been a corporate owner. So I've created companies. I was self-employed. So I've had a lot of different things that I've done, but I've always worked for myself. And it just didn't work for me on that aspect of just punching a clock. People are wired differently, but right now the people I'm talking to here are people with inspiration. They are inspired to have something for themselves to increase their lifestyle and to live better, and that can be done here in Ukraine as well. So again, let's get back to that. So I've gone through many years of doing that. So yeah, I started out individually by myself, and then grew, and then had my own company. I was a contractor, so I was a landscape contractor, then built houses, and was growing. And as I grew, my community grew too, and it became safe. Now, I didn't have a lot of knowledge in the beginning, so I had a lot of people who inspired me, and I had a lot of people who were teaching me, my mentors. They were helping me, and the people that I subjected myself to learn from, and to be aspired to be like them, or to grow in that business arena, or whatever it is. So whatever things that I was doing, I surrounded myself with people, but I still didn't really fully understand the concept of community. Today I don't do it without it. It is extraordinarily important for me, and I won't start a business without community. And so I have a network of people that I have made friends with, that I know that I can trust, and they know that they can trust me. And I don't use them all the time. I don't use everybody for every situation, because each one has his own gifts, each one has his own talents, each one has his own experiences. So whatever I'm involved in, I know who to draw from and say, hey, I'm doing this, and get the heads together, and then they go, that sounds great, and they just start throwing their ideas out and stuff like that, and allows them to make a choice if they want to get involved in this community with this project and reap the benefits from it when they get involved. And the ones who don't, they're still my friends, because I'll have another project down the road that I'll get started like that will pertain to them. So there's always going to be something that's going to go on that works out. But I keep this community of friends that are intelligent, individuals who have experience, skill, that have talent. We have a saying, it's called birds of a feather flock together. So you don't see eagles playing with the pigeons. You see them eating them, but you don't see them playing with them. You don't see the pigeons down on the ground picking up the breadcrumbs and the seeds off the ground, and you see the eagles down there doing the same thing. Eagles don't fly with pigeons. Pigeons fly away from an eagle as fast as it can. You don't see crows playing with sparrows. You're not sitting in the tree conversing. You have a big old black crow and a little brown sparrow. They're sitting there having a conversation. How your day's going? So they're not the same feather. Crows work with crows. Pigeons work with pigeons. Eagles work with eagles. That's what that means. Birds of a feather flock together. The success of your business, success of your ideas is going to come from having the same feathered community. So that's going to help guarantee your growth. That's going to help guarantee your success. That's going to help guarantee your start if you're starting out fresh and new. It's going to help you if you've been in the business for 20 years plus to make changes. But your community is your feathers. Those are the people that know you, to believe in you, that support you, that also rely on you too, because you bring your wealth of knowledge, you bring your security. As a business owner, you're like a mother, you're like a father in the industry of what you're doing, and people need that. They need your support, they need your strength, they need who you are, but you need them. I learned so much from my children as I was raising my sons by myself. Well, actually, whether it was by myself or not, when I was married and had the children, I learned so much from my children that was invaluable to who I am today. They helped form a lot of my character. Now, they didn't know that. They were just being kids. But some of the wisdom that comes out of little children just blow you away, and you're like, oh my God, because they think so straightforward and think so purely. They don't think through manipulations. They don't think through concepts and twisting of ideas or bending the truth or this. No, they're just straightforward and truthful. It makes you laugh and you go, oh dang, that was refreshing, and so you can learn from your children. So in our community, and our children become like us, so they're still our feathers. They still are us. So and now my sons, my oldest son is 37, my youngest is 26. What I see them doing and how they're doing things, just makes me proud. But I also look and I said, hey, you've done some great things I never even thought about, and I can still continue to learn from them, and I can still give them wisdom because they ask for it. And so again, it's safety in that numbers, So surround yourself with community. Surround yourselves with people who have the same feathers. Surround yourself with people who are just as motivated as you are, not necessarily in what you're doing, but motivated in themselves. Surround yourself with people who are inspired and who inspire, because that's you. Now, I've talked about business owners in there before. I've talked about investors, and it's the same thing. I know my friend John, who was on the show with us, a young man from Singapore. He's got such great, wonderful disciplines, and the way he works, and the way he makes money, and the way he is striving for wealth. He is a fantastic investor. I had another gentleman on here from Utah. He again, that's a different end of the spectrum of investments. Very wise man. He's my age, and he has a different approach on his investments. Very secure in the way he's built his wealth, and now each one is going to reach wealth levels at different degrees. Somebody's wealth can be happy at several $100,000 in the bank, and they said, you know what? I've got an income coming in. I've got a passive income coming in. I've got $300,000 in the bank, and that's satisfying to them because it's secure for them. Others, they're $3 million in the bank, and they work hard to get there. They worked hard to raise that money. They worked hard to build that, and they're not satisfied. They want to continue to grow because they have a different level of wealth. It doesn't make one better than the other. It doesn't make one more successful than the other. they've all had their approaches, and it all worked for them. You know, and they become financially independent, so that they don't have to sweat the next month. They don't have to sweat the changes of the environment, of the financial environment, and in the market, and the world economies, and the and wars that are going on around us that can collapse things. They've created their own securities with their own investments, and that's what I like to bring to the table. That's why I like to invite different people as guests, because I want you to be able to pick and choose the things that match you, the feather that is who you are. John's feathers are a little bit different. He's a falcon. Eagles and falcons are two different birds, and the way they hunt and as birds of prey are different. And but there's nothing wrong with it, because they're successful. They still provide. They still have children. They still provide. They still survive, and they've work out their ways to do it. Even the pigeons, there's nothing wrong with the pigeons. I mean, the pigeons are fun. They're cute. They're fun to feed. I mean, they're kind of entertaining. When you go to the park and you have some breadcrumbs, stuff like that, it's really fun just to have that cooing, and that it's just calming. You've got all these birds surrounding you, and they're just kind of eating off of what you're giving them and stuff. It's nice. It's there's nothing wrong with that. And in society, we have our eagles, we have our falcons, we have our crows, we have our pigeons, we have our sparrows. Even in our own society, we can look at it that way. And each person has their own feather. So, but just remember, whether you're an investor, whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or you're looking to have your own business, choose your feathers. Choose the people that are going to be surrounding you, that are going to lift you up and support you, and to help you see your dream come true, to fulfill your desires and to fulfill your plans that you have. And yes, they will be rewarded too. This is not a free ride. My community that I have together, we work together and we make money together. I'm not looking for the whole pie. I'm looking to share all the pieces of the pie so we can all enjoy it and we can all party together. We can all lift a glass of champagne together. I'd rather have that than just be the lone guy that just, I got all the wealth, stuff like that, and you guys go party yourselves, and who am I going to choose? I'm going to go out and just pick a few other wealthy people that are like me, but not really have any community. That's not me. There's a lot of people that are like that, but it's not me. And it's not the way that I try to inspire other people to do business. Sharing is where you have security. Community is where you have security. So, anyway, I just thank you for your time and allow me to share that. As I told you earlier, that I have a large family, and so these things are important to me. People that I meet that bring light to me, just by their smile, just by the gleam in their eye, the little, we call sparkle in your eye. Whether I know you personally or whether I know you superficially, and superficially meaning in just kind of an acquaintance, or that I've met you at an event or met you once or twice. It doesn't matter to what level that I've known you. The fact that you've crossed my path and you've crossed my life, you're important to me. And that's community. And that's how, even with this, with the saloon and all the work that needs to be done on this, I am listening to the community to help me to get where we need to go together. It's not my saloon, it's our saloon. I call it Kiev's Western Saloon, or Kievski Western Saloon, because the saloon is going to be developed by the people of Kiev. It's not going to be me, the owner, and everything else. No, it's the director, Irina Sluta, who's been on the show as a director of it. My management is all going to be Ukrainian. It's going to be a Western, a truly, country Western, American Western atmosphere. I can carry that vision, but it's all going to be executed by the people of Kiev. It's a romance. The idea is a romance. I mean, when we think about Western movies, when we think about the Western society, there's just something romantic about it. It's very rugged. It's very robust. It's, the men are men. The men get beat up. They're kind of, sometimes their nose is off to the side because they got, kicked or thrown off their horse or kicked by a bull or, or even shoeing a horse. They got kicked by the horse, They kind of have a gimp in their walk, because their hip is out of joint, whether they're bull riders, bronc riders, or just a rider. Injuries happen in there, but there's that masculinity and there's that real ruggedness that creates that romance, and then there's that femininity that comes with it, of the women just being sexy and the women being women and women being feminine and just having that ability to look good, and where the men are drooling at the beauty of the women. That's just the romance of the country western atmosphere. And that's what we're bringing here to Kyiv, and it's going to be executed by the society and the people of Kyiv, and I'm really looking forward to that. So it's our program, it's our project, it's our saloon, it's not mine. So when you have a mindset like that, really that's how your business can prosper. I'd rather have 1% or even 0.5% of $1 billion than 100% of $100. And when you create something, I'd rather share out and take a small percentage of it and make it big by all of us than to say, hey, this is mine, and just be this small thing. So that's the principle and that's the concept of community. So this is a little bit different program this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there was something there that you could hear and receive from it. I thank you again for coming and supporting me. Please share this link with many of your friends. Get the word out there, and so that our program can also grow. And I'll continue to bring guests and content for you to learn from. Basically, I'm just sharing things of my experience in life, and I'll bring the experiences of other people as well. And I look forward to giving you some updates on the saloon as we get closer and closer to the grand opening, because you'll be invited to the grand opening. So. Anyway, have a good night. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. I'm happy to be able to walk. I'm walking much stronger now than I did, especially last week was my first week walking without crutches. That's why I just couldn't get through the snow and ice. But now I'm getting stronger each week. I'm walking. I still got a little bit of a limp with me, but it's getting much easier. So I'm thankful for regeneration and healing of the body. Thank God for that. So, have a great week. I look forward to seeing you. Slava Ukraina.